We'd like to give you some cabin advice in the form of things you must never, ever do in your cabin. If you know and avoid doing these things, your vacation will be more safer and more enjoyable. First things first, and this is something that the cruise lines will ask you to do over and over again, do not flush anything other than the toilet paper and toilet tissue that is provided. The presence of a suction mechanism for the toilets is why they do it. The toilets on board are equipped with a suction mechanism and have a high propensity for being clogged. You should avoid flushing any object, including feminine hygiene products, wipes, or anything else of a similar nature. If you want to hide something, you can wrap it in toilet paper and throw it in there, but you shouldn't flush anything down the toilet. Only pee, poop, paper, and puke in the toilet. It is a terrible experience to go on a cruise when the toilet system is clogged, and it is an extremely difficult and time-consuming task for the cruise lines to remedy the problem. Nothing that can produce an open flame should ever be utilized inside of your cabin, which brings us to our next safety tip. The fact is that cruise ship captains fear fire more than anything else is a very strong justification for this. When you're at sea, maintaining control of it might be extremely difficult. Therefore, it is totally forbidden to do so. You are not allowed to have candles, incense burners, or anything else that has an open flame. Bring some battery-operated candles or tea lights if you really want to add something to the setting to make it feel cozier. It goes without saying, both smoking and vaping are similar to an open flame in their respective forms. It is prohibited on virtually all of the cruise lines that operate today. In addition, you are not permitted to do so on the balcony. There are some cruise lines that have a zero-tolerance policy regarding such. And if you disobey that rule, you run the risk of being kicked from the ship entirely. Take special care in your cabin with the electricity, the plugs, and everything else that needs to be plugged in. To begin, you are not permitted to insert anything into the outlet that has a surge protector. People often want to carry on equipment similar to that because not all cruise lines offer loads and loads of outlets, and of course, we all have numerous things that we want to plug in. The second point is that before you leave the cabin, you need to unplug everything that is plugged in and is still being charged, as well as any of your other electronic gadgets. Therefore, there is no possibility of things being plugged in and a fire breaking out there due to some kind of electrical issue. Cabin stewards are typically given the directive to unplug anything that has been forgotten to be unplugged. In the vast majority of instances, the cruise line would have screened that item and asked you to take it from your luggage so that they could keep it. Check with your cruise line to see if they permit the use of hair dryers on board, but keep in mind that this is not always the case. The vast majority of cruise lines provide hair dryers anyway. Curling irons are something that you can carry on board with you nowadays, and the vast majority of cruise companies won't stop you from doing so. The other thing that is connected to the bathroom is that I know a lot of people have been really surprised when they have stepped out of the bathroom and discovered either the cabin stewardess cleaning away or the fact that they have now pulled up alongside another cruise ship or that they have pulled into a port end. There are people who are able to look in. When you depart the ship, you should exercise caution with regard to the items you take from your cabin. Therefore, this includes items such as umbrellas, slippers, bathrobes, and everything else that may be found within your cabin because you will be charged for them. Don't take any of those things with you. You'll find that the majority of cruise companies will give you the option of purchasing those, which is a much cheaper choice if it's something you truly really like and want. What about stuff like several types of toiletries? You will find that many cruise lines, in an effort to reduce their impact on the environment, are doing away with the miniature versions of their amenities, such as the teeny tiny bottles, and replacing them with pump dispensers or larger goods. You will find that many cruise lines, in an effort to reduce their impact on the environment, are doing away with the miniature versions of their amenities, such as the teeny tiny bottles, and replacing them with pump dispensers or larger goods. As a reminder, keep a close eye on everything that you remove from the ship. It's a good idea not to touch anything in the minibar because, similar to hotels, the pricing in minibars is crazy. However, this could be different depending on the cruise line you choose. Even if you have a drinks package, the beverages in the minibar on virtually every cruise line are not included in the drinks package. As a result, you will be required to pay additional fees on top of the fees you have already paid for your drinks package in order to purchase the beverages from the minibar. Therefore, you should avoid touching the minibar at all costs. When it comes to bottled water, you should inspect its quality very carefully as well. Keep in mind that the water that is available directly from the sink is completely safe to consume. Some people are concerned about drinking water directly from the tap, but there is no need to be concerned about this as it is totally safe to do so. The subject of noise is also subject to a variety of legislation and guidelines. On your balcony, without a doubt, however, there shouldn't be any loud music. In point of fact, you are not permitted to play music anywhere outside, including on your balcony. We recently read about a couple who was sent off a cruise for actually having love in a very rowdy and loud manner, which drove other passengers crazy. As a result, the pair got into a significant amount of difficulties and was ultimately kicked off the boat for being too loud. That's not a very enjoyable way to wrap out a holiday, is it? Remember to be courteous to others around you. After all, they will be your neighbors for the next week or so. One of these things is sitting on the handrail, and you should never allow your child to sit there too. Extremely hazardous, and this is frequently the cause of people going overboard. Keep in mind that when you're on a balcony, everyone can see you. Keep in mind that people may frequently see you from their balconies, so proceed with extreme caution in all that you do out there. Additionally, you must not keep the door to the balcony open. There are a few things that contribute to this, despite the fact that I am aware that many people enjoy doing it because they love the sound of the waves and the breath of fresh air. It actually causes havoc with the air conditioning, which causes the air conditioning to really crank up, and it utilizes more energy than is necessary on a ship because of this. Also, it is able to produce a wind tunnel. Do not leave your balcony door open since this effect is enormous and creates the sensation of being in a gigantic wind tunnel. Everything will be blown all over your cabin. They could actually get blown off and blown onto someone else's balcony for a variety of reasons, including the fact that they could get blown off and head off into the water, where it is possible that they may fall into the ocean. Therefore, cruise lines request that you do not hang any clothes, including swimsuits, on your balcony. Typically, a clothesline will be installed in your bathroom. Next, let's discuss the safety box. To begin, it is imperative that you make use of the safe. Use the safe, and make sure that it is locked away, to store your valuables, such as your passport, money, credit cards, and precious devices. The majority of cruise companies will provide safes in a certain number of their rooms, and this is the location to store these items. Also of utmost significance, check to see that you have not left anything in the safe after you have left the building. If you use the safe, everything will be safely locked away, and you will know exactly where it is. However, if you use the safe, people will often leave things in it, and when they leave the ship, they realize it was something important like a passport. However, if you use the safe, always make sure to check it twice before leaving the ship. It is important to remember that cabin stewards have a tremendous amount of work to do and that they frequently work on contracts that last for 6 or 9 months. Additionally, cabin stewards work 7 days a week and put in really long hours. One way to show kindness and consideration for cabin stewards is to ensure that their cabins are not left in a total dump and a mess. It indicates that they will be able to move through your cabin more quickly. It means that they can get through all the stuff they have to do faster, which in turn makes their lives a lot more enjoyable. It means they can spend less time doing it, and it's a terrific thing to do if you want to be nice to the people working in your cabin. Even if a tip is already figured into the total, it's always nice to go above and beyond for a particular person. The group puts in a lot of effort, and the money they earn will help individuals in areas that are very far away. You won't see the kids you helped put through school or the elderly parents you helped feed, but that's where a lot of your tips go. They are going to regard it as a huge favor. We will see you again soon, and we wish you the best of luck and prosperity on your travels. Now go out and create memories that will last a lifetime.